Contractors, in this video, I'm going to share with you the best technique for sales ever. I mean, and there's a lot of training out there, a lot of sales training, a lot of gurus, a lot of books, a lot of podcasts. I mean, it's probably infinite amount of sales training. In this video, I'm going to share with you the #1 sales training technique. I'm up here in my cabin in Big Bear, California. Brian Adams, the contractor's contractor, right here. Dominate your trade. Got someone working over there. Stay tuned. All right, guys. Brian Adams here, the contractor's contractor. Man, I don't know. Hit me up with some comments. I'm doing this out on my porch, Big Bear, California, using my phone, not my laptop. Supposed to be working out. Got a big tournament coming up next week. Got my bow kind of here. Supposed to be training, but just wanted to, man, there's so much stuff going on. Hit me up. I see a couple of people watching. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments. Sales technique. So you should learn all the sales techniques. I mean, buy as many books as you can, audio books, podcast. We've got probably 5 or 6 hours of training in our program, Master Your Business, just on sales, training, sales techniques. You're going to hear one called modeling your prospect, modeling your lead. So whether you're on the phone, if you're on the phone doing sales, that would mean you're using the same speech pattern that they're using. So if they're talking fast, you're going to want to talk fast. If they're dragging it out, you're going to want to drag it out too. You're going to listen for certain words that they kind of use over and over again. You're going to want to use those words. And you don't want to do it in a way that they know you're mimicking them. That's just annoying as hell. So it takes some time and takes practice to kind of get good at that. If you're in person with them, if you're at a client's house talking about sales, if they're standing, you want to be standing. If they do gestures, you kind of want to do those same gestures. And again, you got to learn and practice this so much that they can't tell that you're mimicking them. What it does over the phone and mirroring them, it kind of subconsciously, they think, man, I kind of like that guy, man. He talks the way I talk, man. He kind of moves the way I move, or she moves the way I move. So that's the mirroring technique. Then you've got the old Encyclopedia Britannica, the door-to-door vacuum salesman, where you're asking questions and doing a conversation with them to get them to say yes, at least minimum 6 times. And you want them to say, oh, man, they're like, well, you love this neighborhood, yes, blah, 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 anything, whatever. You want them to say yes out loud, minimum 6 times before you ever start talking about, the close of the sale, or presenting your product, whatever that is. I mean, all of these you got to learn, and there's some science behind all of them. Storytelling is huge. Buy the book, listen to the audio, storytelling. That's huge. My daughter is taking over one of our businesses. She's getting her, studying right now for her contractor's test. But that'll be a great storytelling, for her later on in the future. It'll be like, I don't know, say 20, 30 years from now. It's like, oh, it's a family business for 60, 70, 80 years. My dad started this. I grew up in it. That's a great story. Whatever it is that you do, that's a great story. You've got to learn how to tell stories. We tell why we do so many videos of every project that we do, and we take the YouTube link and send it to new leads after they've described their project. That's storytelling in videos. They're able to see a project almost just like theirs being performed and worked on. It just kind of plants that seed. So storytelling is huge. And there's a lot of the pain. We do far more to avoid pain than we'll ever do to gain pleasure. Research that. Because the brain has 2 purposes: keep you alive, keep you safe. Watch my whole program on mental martial arts. But touch on their pain points, and then kind of leads into the pleasure. And you can do that through storytelling when you're, you know, either on the phone or in person, through video, all of that stuff. You need to learn all of it. You need to learn all of it. But hit me up no matter when you're watching this. The number one sales technique and gimmicks. I mean, the line I use most, probably every presentation, I don't know, whatever the hell, if I'm meeting with the client, whether it's on the phone, I've got it in videos. I do it because it's not a sales technique. It's not a sales line. It's not a gimmick. It's the truth, but it's, I explain to homeowners, I explain to contractors, as if we were best friends. We grew up together. And it started probably 30 some years ago when I got into construction, started mastering my trade, talking with friends and relatives. I live in California, they're in North Carolina. And they're, man, Brian, I wish you were out here to do this for us. There ain't no contractors out here we can trust. And so I'd run down the list of questions that they should ask, how the procedure should be done. Look for this, hit me up with all of that. I mean, that's how we put together the book, 9 Secrets to Refinishing Wood Floors, for our construction company. But I tell that story over and over again to homeowners. I say, look, man, I don't care who does the job. Here's a certain set of questions you should ask. Here's the procedures that should be done. This is the way it should be done, and here's why. And I explain it like Denzel Washington said in the movie Philadelphia. Explain it to me like I'm a 6-year-old, because that's how you want them to understand it. That's not a sales technique. That's brought me in millions and millions of dollars. The number one sales technique is not a sales technique. It's put yourself in your client's shoes. Always do what's best for them. I bought the domain name years ago, have not done anything with it, but it's called Client First Contractor, meaning you've got to build the relationship. You've got to build the rapport. Does mimicking work? Yes, man, it does. I mean, scientifically, it works. Using the same words that they use, talking at the same pace that they talk at, all of that stuff works. But nothing works like being genuine. Buy the book. It's probably on audio somewhere. I don't know. Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. You need to learn how to build relationships. And the faster you can build the relationships, the better you're going to, build your business. It's just don't do any bullshit, man. It's like the whole get them to say yes, touch on the pain points. It's like, man, just sit down and be friends with them. The same way you would sit down with a friend of yours before they started any project. That's the same way you want to do with homeowners. But you've got to build that rapport. You got to build that relationship with them, because from the get-go, nowadays, I mean, we're getting, the construction industry is more and more like used car salesmen. Nothing against used car salesmen. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's so you're starting off on the wrong foot. It's like, man, this guy's trying to rip me off. He's always doing this. He's like, and I mean, and maybe we got that reputation for good reason. I don't know. So you're already fighting a battle. That's why the videos online, your YouTube, your Facebook, all of that stuff. That's why it's so important. But build the relationship, build the rapport, and just talk to them as a friend. Say, look, man, what is it that you really want to get from this? What is the outcome that you really want? And through that, you are telling stories of past projects that you've done just like theirs. If you watch my video, Old School Marketing, we used to give out the presentation folders, but it would be filled with all kind of stuff. And some of that stuff was, at the end of each job, we would give them a to better serve you questionnaire that they would fill out. They check these boxes and, how, what we did great, what we could do better. And they'd write a couple of paragraphs on how great we were. It was just, like I use video testimonials now. But in that presentation folder, if I was going to meet with a doctor, I would put the first 3 or 4 of those, referral letters would be from other doctors. If I was meeting with a lawyer, same thing. The first 2 or 3 they read would be from lawyers. Anything, whatever it is, sports, all of that stuff. actors, actresses, done a lot of that shit. So there would be from other people like that. So as they're reading it, they've got something in common with who left that referral, who left that video testimonial. We do it now with the video testimonials. If I'm sending video testimonials to someone and they're a lawyer, I'm sending them video testimonials from other lawyers that we've worked for. All of that stuff. So we're building that rapport, we're building that relationship. But man, just when you get into the sleazy sales, and I don't know, it's like maybe it's only sleazy depending on how you use it, because all the techniques work. You need to learn them all. You got to learn all the rules before you can start breaking the rules. So I don't know, man. Hopefully you found this helpful. Hit the subscribe button down below, ring the bell, and so that you're notified when we upload new videos. Leave us some feedback. Ask any questions. I'll get to you. What you need to hear more of, want to hear more of. But yeah, all the sales techniques, do they work? Probably, if you do it right and you master them. Zig Ziglar used to say, because he was big on canned sales techniques and canned presentations, and canned meaning you practiced it over and over again, and you knew all the responses, and when they said no, you knew how to move around it and ask another question, all of that shit. I'm not into that. Look, you either fucking want to buy it or you don't. I don't want no buyer's remorse later on. I don't want anybody feeling like I talked them into anything. Is that good or bad? It's probably bad. Honestly, it's probably bad. It's not a great way to probably run the business. You would build the business. It's just the way I do it. But canned meaning, but he would say, if you're doing a presentation, or if you're doing a sales technique and they can tell it's a canned presentation, you don't know it well enough. You should have rehearsed it and done it so many times that it sounds like you're making it up on the spot, almost like a great comedian. If he's up there trying to remember jokes, he's not a great comedian. But when he's telling stories and you're thinking, God dang, he's making this up right now. That's the best. So that's where you need to be with your sales presentation. But nothing beats being a friend. Nothing beats putting your client needs before your needs. And if you don't have enough leads and the phone ring and all that shit coming in, you can't do that, because you've got to sell this job. You got to sell this job, man. It's like, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be there. All right, guys, we are out of here. Brian Adams, the Contractor's Contractor, teaching you how to dominate your trade. Until next time, I got to get busy up here in Big Bear. Have a great weekend.